now let's go back to cinema. We are going to go back to cinema. We're going to talk Urchin. And this is one of those rare times when we are ahead of the curve. And we're going to talk about a film before most of the country can actually see it in cinemas. So, Urchin. Who wants to take it? Sharon, shall you take it? Tell us what it's all about.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
It's a bit of an odd one.
Here's an odd one.
But basically, the urchin in question is a young man played by Frank Delane, who some people would know from Fear the Walking Dead, the first couple of series of that. He plays his character called Mike, who you first meet him, he is homeless. He's sleeping rough, but he's quite personable. He's sort of quite chatty, he's well spoken, he's quite friendly. And then you see him commit a violent robbery completely out of nowhere. He's like, because there's one scene where there's someone befriends him and said, "Oh, I'll get you something to eat. I'll come on, we'll take you to the restaurant. I'll go buy you something." And they're walking down the road, and the other guy starts walking ahead of him. And I was like, "Don't walk ahead of him. You don't know who this guy is. Don't walk ahead of him." And then, boom, there's this really violent robbery. And then you find out, you've had glimpses of it right up until now, that he is addicted to drugs, he's lost sleeping, he's estranged from his family, his life is chaotic, he has friends, but they're the sort of friends that you will steal from, because that's that sort of friendships where they support each other because they're all homeless together and they're in that situation together, but they'd also all predate upon each other because, if one of your mates has got money and you need money because you need your drugs, you're going to steal their money. So it's that. And then you see, obviously, the consequences of this action. And then you go through this phase of the film where you see him trying to sort of find his feet. He's getting a job. He's sort of forming relationships. He's forming friendships. He's sort of like getting his act together. And then you see another phase of his life, or you say or lessons that you think he had learnt, he unlearns, and you sort of get this sort of spiral, or you get this sort of like repeated bad behavior.
Yeah.
And so, it's not, I don't think it's a spoiler to say, there's almost like a circular action about this film. How it ends up is not dissimilar to how it begins, that he goes through this journey, but he's almost like self-destructive in the way he sort of interacts with people and how he treats himself, that you think he's one of those people you want to root for. You're thinking, you can do it. You can get yourself on your feet. You can get yourself a house. You get somewhere to live. And then a couple of bad choices, and it falls apart a little bit. But it is riven with a lot of imagery, a lot of symbolism. You think the term urchin is not just that he's an urchin, like he's like someone who lives on the street, but they're physical, and a sea urchin. You have images of that as well, and about life, the nature of life, the nature of existence, where does life begin, where does life go? There's a lot of question of faith, there's a lot of irreligious imagery in it throughout, and there's a few recurring images. You're not sure whether they're like sort of like Earth Mother, or like the Virgin Mary, or sort of like that mother figure. You see those sort of images occurring through it. There's a couple of scenes where you think you're going to his safe place, where he escapes in his mind, but you're not quite sure whether that's another, I guess, symbolism of something else. So it's lots of symbolism in it, and imagery.
Yeah. I think the one thing Sharon's talked about, particularly the sort of forest one with the like the cave almost. I think you're right. To me, that's his mind, and it's there. The light's there. He can go to it, but he decides not to.
He just can't quite get out of that cave. Yeah.
I mean, my take on it was, I thought this was really well acted. To be fair, I had to think about this one, Sharon. I think we said when we come out, I had to think about this one. But I think it was really well acted, and I like the way he turned. And I know people through my life, I think I've had this before loads of times, that are either alcoholics or drug addicts, that can just be like so pleasant, so absolutely pleasant as you like, and then just something like that. And the scene with the hippie, you know what I mean? When he's going on, and he's just really, really quite foul and horrible. These people that are nice to him, it's almost like a destructive relationship. Almost like people want to be nice to him, but he just sort of, something could be said or something, and he's just really, really vitriolic and not particularly nice to them. So
it's almost like you say, if he's fine as long as you're fine with him, but if you say no, or you sort of put up a boundary, he's suddenly like just
it's all on his terms. It's all on his terms.
And it's like, his relationship with other people he works with. You know, one thing will be like enough for him to be like, no, that's it. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I did feel sorry for him in some circumstances, like the restaurant. I did feel a little bit sorry for him then, because he was put in a position because things were starting to go, weren't they? And then that one incident, it's like, oh, that's it. Let's go on that downward spiral once again. But yeah, there was the first bit of it. I think was a bit like, well, I don't know. There was that bit. I thought, what are we going 2001 here? You know, like when the first animated scene, I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? Yeah, this was a real interest, this film.
You sort of disappear into his psyche. Yeah. They're interesting. It's not as... It's a British film, I think you probably gather. And it's a very much his film. It's very much Frank Delane's film. He is.
I didn't know, did he direct it as well?
It all rises and falls on him, really.
No,
did he direct it as well?
It was directed by Harris Dickinson. Who is also an actor. He's an up and coming actor. He's been in some stuff. He was in The King's Man. He is going to be playing Paul McCartney. No, he's going to be playing John Lennon in the 4 Beatles movies that Sam Mendes is making. He was in The Iron Claw. He was in that film with the young girl Scrapper.
Scrapper. We saw that as a special. I reckon these specials. Yeah, we saw Scrapper.
Yeah, he was the dad in Scrapper.
I think it seems to be a lot of these secret screenings seem to be British films, don't they? Because the one we saw, which was
the last one was.
Although it's funny, as you were talking, it made me
by the BBC. Sorry, Toes.
No, as you were talking, it just made me realize something. You know that at the moment there's this whole thing like about in America when a young director gets the first chance to actually make a film and everything like that, it's usually a horror film in America. And it seems like in Britain, when they get a chance to do it, it's usually a kitchen sink drama.
Very gritty, very
very gritty, very sort of like low level. Usually has to do with some sort of social issues and everything like that.
It's sort of drawn back that curtain on a world that most sort of comfortable middle class people would never see.
Yeah.
And we probably would never, the majority of people who would watch this film and be like emotionally or intellectually moved by it or interested in it would be not the people who would ever encounter these people in real life. Sure, might because he works in education. Yeah. And I do encounter people like this through the hospital because obviously people have, people who live chaotic lifestyles often need hospital services. And trying to get hold of them is not easy, and trying to sort of do the best for them is like, not easy when they won't turn up for appointments, they don't answer the phone, they don't answer letters, they DNA, then they call back and they say, why aren't you helping me? It's like, how many times do you want us to try? So it's a chaotic lifestyle, but it does rise and fall on him, and I think he is charismatic enough. He's likable enough in the likable moments, and then you see that turn, and that's believable. You believe him, and I thought it was convincing and well done. And I think I was dithering about whether it was a 3 or a 4, just about by being engaged with it. It's not to me, I was more intellectually engaged with it rather than emotionally connected. But I just think it is good enough that it probably is a 4.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say,
it wasn't an easy 3. It isn't an easy 4, an easy watch. But I think it's one of those ones. The more you think about it, the better you think it is.
Yeah. I would have to agree with that. Originally, when I first come out, I would have given this a 3. But on reflection and thinking about it and thinking about the issues and all that, it's probably going to get a 4. I would agree with Sharon. I came out thinking it's a 3, but on reflection, it's one of those films on reflection, a bit like Mother. That you think about and deserves it. I think it merits a 4, Sharon, don't you?
Well, I think the fact that a film stays in your head and you have to keep thinking about it after you leave the cinema tells you something. I think that almost in itself is worth an extra star. So so cool. So 4 stars for Urchin. This is a good week.